That was awesome. Oh, my goodness. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I can't believe it's December. I don't know about all of you. It was kind of a shock. Thanksgiving, and then boom. So we are starting a new month, obviously, and we have a new theme, which is the journey of becoming. And there's all sorts of exciting things happening and new starts with the new year and the visioning board class and all sorts of things. And this talk is about surrender in action. And that song just spoke to it. But also it's like, I think surrender, the word, has bad connotations. It's not fair, but that's true. And because in the traditional sense, it's like to cease resisting an enemy, to submit to their authority, and all that kind of stuff. And it's like, no, that's not, it's like when you're a little kid and you're playing a game, you surrendered, and that meant you lost. And well, at least when I was a little kid, I wasn't into that. I didn't like that. But it's not a concept that is defined by that. It's a bigger concept, because the context for today's topic, surrender is action, is turning it over. It's relaxing and letting go of control in a way that serves you, so that you can allow the divine order, that beautiful thing that just flows through you, to manifest out in the world and have your life vibrate at the highest level possible. It's just amazing. And it's not about chaos. It's about relaxing into it. It's like really letting go of that sense of separation, because we are all one. And you're supported by the universe. You're supported by each other. All this stuff's going on. And so when we let it go and relinquish something, our lives can get so much better and more exciting, and turning it over to Spirit. And now, I noticed, since I was working on this topic, that I'm noticing all the places in my life where I surrender. And it's like the old thing, if you're looking at a red car, then all of a sudden all you see is red cars. So all these surrenders have been coming up. And it's like you're yielding, you're giving up the struggle, it's all these things. And so I looked at it, and on a daily basis, I'm surrendering something. And one of the ones that really resonated with me last night, this morning, was feeding the cats. Hello? If I don't feed the cats on time, they are relentless. They are all over. I have two. They're all over me. They're wanting their food, or they want affection. And it's like, I surrender to my cats. I literally, I give up, I let it go, and I feed the cats, and they're happy. And then I'm happy too, because they're happy. It's all, like that. So, and the other thing is, I don't know about you, but I don't like to go to bed. There's always something else I want to do, or something else I want to see. So I surrender to going to bed. Madeline, it's time to go to sleep. Turn off the screen and get in bed and go to sleep. So there's lots of little things all day long that I surrender to. And it's like taking an action, because I literally feed the cats. So it's not a passive thing to surrender. You are using your energy in a different way. And it's something that you choose to give yourself peace and closure, and to know that this is the next step for me. And you're shifting your mindset. You're not giving up. You're looking at something in a different way. It's a different, higher plane, if you will, because it's not, it's almost like you're losing something, but you're getting something so much greater, and you're succeeding at a different level. And that control that we try, I want to control, I want to make sure I know what's going on, all that kind of stuff. It's like, you know what? That blocks some of my best stuff from coming through, because I'm thinking this is what it's going to look like, I'm doing all this stuff. And it's like, Spirit's trying to come in with something better, and I'm going, no, it has to look like this. So I surrender that. I let go of it. And one of the things that is very powerful in this respect is forgiveness. You surrender the slight, the upset, or whatever. And it could be self-forgiveness. It could be forgiveness of someone else, but it's like holding on to something like that and not forgiving. Oh my God. So much stuff has happened in this world because of that kind of concept. And if you can release and let go, and you're serving yourself by forgiving people for things. And it could be thoughts, it could be in relationships, it could be almost anything. Because surrendering with grace is such a beautiful way to live. Johnny Cash talked about it in the song a minute ago. It's just, it's an empowering choice to let go of stuff, to surrender. And it's, that it's so in alignment with the science of mind principles too. Because one of our principles is to practice the presence, to allow spirit to come up and well up through you, to guide you. And it's the oneness, the love, the co-creation with spirit that gives us such a blessing in our lives. And there's methodologies. We teach ways to engage with spirit so that we can, for me, so I can hear what's there for me. Because in our world, it's so busy. There's so much going on. Social media, screen time, news, activity. It's just, and that's one of the things I think the pandemic has done is we're tied to screens more, which I don't necessarily think is a good thing. I surrender my screen. I'm working up to doing it, take a whole day off, but I haven't done that yet. It's one of those things I'm working on, surrendering to. But it's living in alignment with the science of mind principles. To really saying, yes, this is how I want to be in my life. This is what I want it to feel like, look like, experience the beautifulness of it. Because the presence and the divine power of love is always there. But sometimes we're too busy doing other stuff, thinking that we are in control, or that, this is the worst thing, thinking that you can control someone else. And that person needs to be doing something that they're not doing, but you just need to make them do it. How many of you have tried that? Does that work? Yeah. No, it doesn't work. So it's just engaging in the present moment and being present to what's going on in yourself so that your words, your thoughts, your behavior are all congruent and they're all in there together. Because there is divine inner guidance available to all of us in each and every moment. We have faith. We just know as we go within. And the healing is something that when we're healing ourselves, we can take that out into the world. Because what happens here happens in the macro as well. And I know I want the world to heal. I so want the world to heal. Yes. So one of the things when we were talking about a second ago is that the letting go of personal control. Now, I've had a lot of experience with letting go of personal control. Most of it was not in the positive way because I wasn't good at it, is the problem. I was in control of it all. One of the things is when you want to be in control and it doesn't work out, frustration, upset, anger, those things. Yeah. Do I want more of that in my life? Hello? No. I don't want that in my life. So one of the stories that I did, I thought, that's the thing about, the red cars. I had all these stories popping in my head. So several years ago, Gary and I went to China, long time ago. And then we flew from China to Japan and had a great vacation. And then it was time to fly from Japan back to China because our flights were going out of Beijing, which was fine. That worked great. And then we get to the Beijing airport, and we're met by a woman who does not speak English, and is not very friendly either. And she's basically meets us at the gate and said, well, come with me. And so it's like I'm going, it's not what I expected. I don't feel warm fuzzies from this woman, and she's expecting us to follow her, and we're in China. It's like, oh my God. Oh my God. So in my mind, so she took us to a place. Actually, she took us all the way through immigration, and I'm going, no, we don't want to go through immigration. We just want to get on a plane to the United States. She took us all the way through immigration, and then we're outside. And then there was finally a woman who spoke English. And she explained to us that the plane wasn't going for like 8 hours, which we knew. And so, well, we'll go to the lounge. No, you can't go to the lounge. What? No, the lounge is in another airport. It's like, faith and trust were being tested. It's like, they barely speak English. We're in China. It's the two of us. It's like, well, and then they put us on a bus, and they take us into town, and they put us in a hotel, and I'm all nervous. Gary's fine, but it's like, oh, surrender? Oh, no, I didn't know. Oh, no. And Gary's going, oh, just get some rest. Okay. And then the time came. They put us back on the bus. They took us to a different airport, I believe. I can't read the signs. I don't know what it says. And so it's like, trust. And then obviously we made it home, but it was like, oh, what an example of having to surrender control and to trust. And yeah, so it's that was so vivid for me, and I'm just, oh my gosh. And Gary was calm, thank God. But anyway, so that's an experience of surrendering. It's like, anyway, breathe. But going into spirit more deeply, letting spirit in, letting spirit lead us is what, and the thing that's so funny is in this day and age, we don't stay still long enough. We don't get quiet long enough for spirit's still small voice, a quiet voice within us to come forth. It's because our minds are so busy and there's so much input from everything around us. I'm smiling at the baby. So it's just, it's input, love. Oh gosh, okay. Breathe, Madeline, because that's the thing, okay? The baby is a message. Spirit is here. Healing and love is here. And I'm listening. I'm listening. And there's different ways that we can do this. I like to think that I court the spirit. I court it. I make it so it's obvious for me. I meditate every day. And I have one of those little apps that tells you how many days you've done it consecutive. So I have a streak going. So anyway, so little toys works great. Trusting your intuition. A walk in the woods. Just breathing and journaling, flow of consciousness journaling, not with an intent for anything. Prayer. There's also yoga. Gary hates it, but it's good for you. And then there's child's pose. Just surrendering, just being there. And then there's Shavasana, where you just lie there. That's the best. But your mind can be quiet because you've been working with your beautiful body, and you just can relax, and that gives spirit a chance to come in. Another good place is the shower, the water, the shower. Just listening to spirit within taking over in the shower. And it's how do you know that it's inner spirit? It's like there's a peace, there's an energy, there's a serenity. And it's good for everybody. There's no harm for anybody. But if you're like frustrated, depressed, anxious, you're indecisive, you have the fear-based thing going on, the energy goes away. The energy goes away. And there's a quote from Llewellyn Vaughan Lee that this is so important. The inner surrender of love's servant has a quality that's not passive, but is a dynamic participation in the unknown. We surrender to a reality we cannot understand and are trained to stand in the midst of the emptiness and be available for love's work. Because this or something better can show up. But you can tell if that inner voice is fear, if that's what's coming on. Because I know I get agitated and upset and grumpy and all these wonderful things. That it's not good for my relationships either, or myself. And Ernest Holmes tells us, love alone can overcome fear, because love surrenders itself to the object of its adoration. The soul must make a complete surrender of itself to Spirit. Just letting go, letting that inner guidance come up. So living from faith and surrendering to our own divinity, that's our essential nature. That's what we need to be reminded of day after day after day. And it can be trusted. I bet you all of you can tell a story where you turned it over and surrendered, and it showed up in a better way than you could have imagined. Things worked out better. Because we want to surrender with grace and do it on a conscious level. And it's just choosing yourself, honoring yourself, loving yourself to surrender to Spirit. Because you are not alone. We are all in this together. Spirit is working in and through you. And we have a choice. We've seen experiences and people that didn't choose this way. The news is full of them. And I bless them in deep breath. And I choose what I want. So I surrender to having what enhances my life. So of course there's all these attachments that we have to let go of. I did not say this it's clear what to do, but it's not necessarily easy to surrender. So one of the things that, this is historical for me, and I'll keep it short, is I was raised by a mother, bless her, she loved me so much, a single mom. So I was raised to take care of myself, to make sure that I knew how to do everything myself. So in my spirit, my brain, I thought I have to take care of myself. I have to do it all by myself. That kind of eliminated a relationship because I needed to do it all by myself. And until I shifted that internal thought or surrendered that thought, I could not attract my beautiful husband, my loving husband. So I had to shift inside myself to allow the universe to bring this beautiful man into my life. Am I embarrassing you, honey? It's all good. So he surrendered. My husband surrenders. Yeah, poor guy. Yeah, we have a wonderful marriage. But I trust the process, too. It's because I surrender and I trust and I know, even when there's moments when I'm going, this is not what I want. But I trust and I know that sometimes I'm growing in that uncomfortableness. I'm going farther and something greater is coming in. I mean, it's as small as, it's like giving up something like cookies. I gave up my attachment to cookies because I didn't like what they did to my body. So I surrendered to no cookies. So there's habits you need to surrender. Little things that aren't necessarily big, but it's like, you need to surrender that. So it's just, and trusting the process, it's just so important. Because Spirit's always there for you. Always. Always. And I'm not listening. I encourage all of you to listen. So let's think about it for a second here. You might want to close your eyes briefly and think of a time when you surrendered something. Could be big, little, whatever. Because I know that when you leave here, you'll start looking at it. You'll start seeing places where you surrendered, where you let something go. You acquiesced with love. You trusted the process. You let go of a habit that didn't serve you. There's stuff knocking on the door to you. Yes, it's always there for you. What is yours to surrender? What is yours to surrender? And come on back. And right now we're in that time of year where all these stories come forth. And I know you guys all know this story. A Christmas Carol. So Ebenezer Scrooge surrendered. He did it in a dream. He went into that ghost of past, present, and future Christmas. And he came out transformed because he surrendered. Surrender's all over the place. It's so powerful. So I'd like to end with some lyrics from a song that was, playing in my head while I was working on this. And it's a Karen Drucker song. And it's from Songs of Spirit 4, Volume 4. And it's called I Will Surrender. And I will honor the lyrics, but I think it's I surrender instead of will, because will puts it in the future for me. But I surrender. So these are the lyrics I want to end with. I will surrender to my highest good. I will release any fear that blocks my way. For every step I take is taken in pure faith. And I am stronger every moment, every day. There may be walls, there may be roadblocks in my way, but I can choose to take a higher path each day. And now I know that what I thought was safe and sound was only habit and regret that held me down. My mind is willing and my heart is wide open. I trust my instincts and let Spirit be my guide. I vow to live a life that's real and true and free as I continue walking in this mystery. Let's take this into prayer. I open up to the magnificence of the divine, that one source of all love, light, co-creation, the infinite. And I know and accept that each and every one of us is one with that we are God stuff in human form, and that Spirit fills us up, works through us, and enlivens us. And I know that every step we take is blessed. And I know and accept that we listen to that divine guidance, that divine inner spirit within each and every one of us. I breathe in that knowing. I feel it in my entire being, mind, body, and soul. Yes, yes, yes. And I know that as we embark on these celebrations of this season, we do so with a high consciousness. We are awake. We are listening. We are there for each other. Our consciousness is growing and expanding and loving. So I know and accept that all of us are divine beings. And we are celebrating our surrenders to that higher expression of our lives that Spirit provides for us. And I just know and accept that everything is good. Everything is great. And that we enjoy the sustenance of Spirit. We enjoy each feast we attend. And we are here in divine fellowship and knowing that we are all surrounded by love and light. And I'm so grateful for the Sierra Center, for Reverend Rafe, for everybody in this community. And I know and accept that together we do magnificent things. And we are feeling that love. So the law, of course, is always, always manifesting. And we put into that love and light and law. And its perfect expression comes out. So there is joy, thanksgiving, celebration of life in each and every breath we take. To knowing the law is in action, and my gratitude is unbounded, infinite thanks and appreciation. Each step is a walk in appreciation. So I let these words go with conviction, trust, knowing, faith, and love. And together we say, and so it is. Thank you all. Yay.